You may not be aware, but the numbers of suicides in the Isle of Man is actually more than you would expect for an island of this population, if you compare them against the UK figures, for instance. The other thing about a suicide in the island is it's almost impossible not to be touched by it. The 6 degrees of separation doesn't apply in the island. It's something like 2. So if you hear of an instance where somebody has taken the choice to end their life, there's a chance that you will know the person, know the family, maybe your children went to school with them, maybe you have something to do with the emergency services and they've been involved in that. So in the Isle of Man, those ripples that go out touch more people. Now, we were aware of the figures and the growing numbers, and in fact, our director at the time was asked to talk to a select committee of Tynwald about Samaritans' thoughts on this. And we came away from that and sat down together as a branch, as a group, and we went, are we doing enough to make people aware? We've no way of knowing if any of those people who ended their lives was in touch with the Samaritans. The confidential nature of our service means we can't know that. But we had to be certain that we had done everything we possibly could to make people aware of our service. So, although we have a small publicity budget, it is small. So we decided to approach the Manx Lottery Trust. It's a difficult one because how do you measure if you've been successful? But whatever it was that we said, they listened to us and they've given us this fabulous grant of £11,000.
You talked about it's impossible to know, of course, when it comes to numbers and statistics, how many people would have reached out to you. As a service, are you busy? Do the numbers surprise you?
I don't know whether the numbers surprise us or not. Our aim is to reduce the number of occasions when people end their lives by suicide. And in answer to your question, are we busy? Samaritans take a call every 6 seconds. Yes, we're busy.
Is that more or less than the UK? Are you aware?
That's the same. That's based on UK figures. And I know myself because I don't just do the publicity for the branch. I'm a listening volunteer. So I'll do several shifts a week and I'll be on the phone and the phone never stops. It really doesn't. You finish a call and it rings again. So we know we're busy. But bear in mind, we don't just take Isle of Man calls. Calls can come from anywhere in the UK. And the same way that if somebody calls our Samaritans number, they could end up anywhere in the UK, which is kind of a good thing because the confidentiality really is there. You're not going to talk to your next door neighbour or your auntie or something like that. You are going to have a confidential call where you really can open up.
As you say, the phone rings as soon as you put it down almost. How do you mentally keep yourself in the right frame of mind to be able to deal with that on a consistent basis?
The training that you get when you become a Samaritan is very intense and very thorough. And the branch has a duty of care to all its volunteers. So we have a very, very good setup in that you never do a duty alone. You're always with a colleague. If you have a difficult call, you can flag time out and say, I need to talk about this one, or go and make a cup of tea or something, or take a break from this, and your colleague will support you. Also, at the end of each session, you will phone in to your leader. Every session has a leader, and you'll debrief to that leader so that you're leaving it behind. She or he will not let you end your shift until she is comfortable that you've talked it all through and you're not taking it away. Lots of us use different names as well. So, for instance, I would use a different name. So when Lesley goes out of the door at the end of her shift, she isn't taking anything that Susan talked about. She's left that behind. We write little notes as we're taking our calls, and they're shredded at the end of the session, and they've gone. But the main thing is the training. It gives you the ability to be able to cope with whatever call you will get.
And of course, it is an anonymous service. But have you had to go through a particularly difficult call where you've had to really have a talk about it and yourself deal with it?
Yes, I'm certain that most volunteers have. There is always that call that absolutely touches you. It may be that the call was of a type that had some sort of personal trigger for you. For instance, any call that involves a child, I'm always very touched by. I have children, I have grandchildren, and I can immediately put myself in the shoes of the mother or the grandmother or whatever, and I think, oh, what is going on here? So those will always touch me, and there are ones where you know, for instance, that there's almost certainty that the person you've talked to is going to end their life, or perhaps has been in the process of doing so. And all you can remind yourself is, I was there for them when they needed somebody to listen.
It's sort of an acceptance that goes along with that whatever happens, you've done everything that you could do in that moment.
Definitely. I mean, self-determination is a thing for us in that people make their choices, and we won't try and talk them out of them. We might help them to explore other options. They may feel it's their only option, and we can help them look at other options. Well, what would happen if you did this? Who would be impacted? Or, well, if you didn't do this, what else is there for you? So, yeah, we do what we can, and the main thing is that we're there to listen.
Well, returning slightly then to the grant of £11,000, you said it's all about, well, a lot of it will be for publicising, letting people know you are there. How will the money be used?
It's all about awareness, and we've been on the island 40 years this year, so we are celebrating that. But it's surprising the number of people who don't know about the Samaritans service or what we do, or the fact that it's not all about suicide. In fact, we would rather people came to us and phoned us or emailed us when it's small, so we can start to dissipate that a little bit for them. So what we need to do is raise awareness, and we're working closely with Isle of Man Advertising, and we've come up with a programme, and so that you'll see advertising on buses, on digital screens around the island. We'll be out and about, doctors' surgeries, dentists, places of business. We'll be doing talks. Anything that we can that's going to raise awareness. We'll get on the back of anything that Samaritans' main office, the head office, is doing. So it might be around giving at Christmas time, giving of your time to listen, for instance. Blue Monday, or Brew Monday as we like to call it, that deadly day in January when Christmas is over and the summer holidays seem a long way off, and go and have a cup of tea with a friend, have a chat to them, talk to them. We're going to work in schools. Whatever we can, we are throwing everything we can at raising awareness over the next few months.
And how many volunteers do you have on the island?
We have around about 50 volunteers. So as you can imagine, we're all going to be quite busy. Because not only always our duties will be the first thing, that will be the first priority for us, but I'll be going out and I'll be talking to people and saying, can you go out into a business? Can you involve yourself in this? We need to be visible, we need to be seen. And of course, it would be very handy if in this period we also got some people to think, I could maybe do that. So that would be a bonus for us.
And who do they call? What do they do to get involved if they want to?
If they want to get involved, all they have to do is go on to the Samaritans website. So just type Samaritans into your browser and it will come up with the website. And there's a link in there to volunteering. So that would be a way that you can get involved there.